Okay, let's go ahead and just drop a mushy on Mario. And for a minute, I was like, "Oh shit! How am I gonna Oh shit! Okay, which way? I don't remember which way I was going. Oh shit! We're going into a fight apparently. Okay. Let's I don't know. Just start on the Snapdragon. I think I either okay. Thought I fucked that up, but it was still close enough. Um, yeah, for a second I was like, oh shit, I stopped not at a save point, so I thought I was gonna have to do the next episode right away, but then I forgot that it does like a save state on the Wii. So luckily I didn't have to do the next episode right away because I kind of didn't feel like doing it. Pollen nap. Actually, I reckon if you were inhaling tons of pollen, you'd be hard pressed to fucking fall asleep. I'm actually pretty lucky. I don't have any like allergies or anything. The worst I get is when I get a sinus infection. It seems like I have hay fever, and I do seem to be somewhat susceptible to sinus infections. Some people like never get them, but that's like a thing that I get sometimes. I've also had like strep throat like 100 fucking times. Which that one I've had so many times I really don't even mind that much. I'm going back to the beginning, aren't I? Son of a bitch. I guess this is the disadvantage of, damn it, okay. Oh my gosh. Alright. So let's go back. Alright. Wait, am I supposed to go this way? Or am I supposed to go down and to the right? I actually don't know. I don't remember passing that, that floating Shag-Eye dude. That's why I thought I hadn't been there before. But yeah, I've had strep throat 100,000 times. Which actually, like, in terms of suffering, I don't think you're really suffering that much with it. I mean, that could just be me. But, yeah, apparently strep throat's contagious, but I'm sitting here going like, so does that mean you can't breathe on people? Like, I don't know. I've had plenty of times where I've had strep throat enough times to where I don't even have to go to the doctor. I can, like, recognize how it feels specifically. And, because it's like a sort of a mild sore throat. I don't know. It does have a different kind of feel to it. Plus, I don't get sore throats normally. I'm trying to think. Man, now that I think about it, I used to get sore throats a lot as a kid, but I actually haven't had one in a long time that wasn't strep throat. I actually haven't had strep throat in a while. Okay, let's see if we can... I know each one of these only has 5 coins, so it's not really 100% worth it. Oh, damn it. But we are still early in the game, so saving coins for mushrooms and shit will be good. And I guess the items are relatively cheap. The basic mushroom syrups and pick-me-ups and shit. I used to always carry 1 or 2 Able Juices, even though I fucking hardly ever use Able Juice, actually. Unless I'm in a battle and they keep turning everybody into, like, mushrooms or something where you can't do anything. Alright. Let's get this fucking pulsing guy dead. We do a yoga pose like that, where it's sort of like that. You're just laying on your back, and you got your feet flat on the ground, so you have, like, your knees bent, and you just, like, raise your hips up and down. It's called a bridge pose. And I always think that one's one of the poses that, like, new students are always, like, kind of weirded out by doing. There's a couple of them. Anything that involves, like, putting your legs apart, or, like, sticking your ass in the air, like the new people are. Like, oh, this is not a, you know, my mom told me not to do motions like this, and it's weird, you know, because you don't do it in your normal life. But then you look around and everybody else is fucking doing it, so it's like, oh, okay, well, just fucking do it, you know. But basically, you just raise your hips up, and then sometimes we just move our hips just slowly up and down just to work those muscles. I'm pretty sure the trick is you're supposed to do it without getting your glutes involved, because like certain kinds of like motions and exercises and stuff, you can do it, but if you're not targeting the correct muscle, then you're not getting the full effect out of it. You're supposed to be targeting a certain muscle. It's sort of like when you do sit-ups, if your core isn't strong, some people, when they do crunches, it like hurts their lower back. because their core is so weak that they're actually... Oh, I wasn't paying attention to his health. Oops. Well, I might have to keep more pick-me-ups in this playthrough than I usually do for shit like that. Ooh, we can see if we can kill that bandit since he attacked. We'll go ahead and see if we can kill him first. They usually run. I don't remember how many coins they give. I mean, it's not a huge, crazy amount. You son of a bitch, you got 2 turns, you asshole. Alright. What was I saying a second ago? I don't remember. Something about yoga and it's gone. Well, I still got 7 coins for that fight, even though the bandit got away. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. Jeez. Oh, shit. I don't know if I have the fucking voice for this guy. Alright, people, form ranks! I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. Attention, shelled warriors! Shelled warriors. Hooded sorcerers! And last but not least, groundling Goombas. I always wonder what the fuck that was. He just, like, does, like, a little pose and then the screen flashes. I'm like, was that a magical thing, or is that... It's kind of like the most unimpressive... I don't know. Excuse me. Alright, that piece of text scrolled automatically, so we missed it. The bridge is down, but we'll find a way to get back in. Move out, on the double! Our 15 troops will have to fucking... Okay, well... Good luck with that. I don't know if you've seen how easily Mario can kill Goombas and shit, so... So if you're gonna fight something that's tougher than Mario, you might need a little more muscle than that.
Bowser and his troops must be on their way to Bowser's Keep. Come on, Rosetown is just up ahead.
So aren't... Hey, I never noticed this. Aren't they going backwards? Shouldn't they be going towards me? Because if they went that way, and then I followed them, and then if this leads to Rosetown, wouldn't it be quicker for them to go back the way they came? Instead of looping all the way around the fucking map? By the way, the fucking map in this game is fucking weird. It's just like a circle of places. I'm like, that doesn't... Is there just lots of, like, places to fall in the middle, or whatever? Alright, anyway... Hello, sir. There's a stairway to my house that leads to my house, but my son's been playing with the controls again. Mario, only you can jump up there. Please help me get back up to my house. Oh man, I totally fucking failed this one. If you don't...
What's taking Daddy so long? Do you think he's still looking for the treasure?
No, you locked him out, you fucking asshole. Man. I know you fucking hate him because he punished you, but that's because you fucking... Let's see, what would a mushroom kid do that would be, like, mischievous? I can't think of any right now, but by the way, why is there a button on the second floor that controls the stairs to the house anyway? That seems kind of fucked up. Thanks a million, Mario. Say, were my treasures okay? They sure were. Oh, it's great news. What a relief. Since we didn't get hit by any arrows, I'll tell you a secret. Enter the forest. When you hit an area with 4 paths, go left, left, straight, right, in that order. You'll surely find something nice. Nice. Alright. I'm pretty sure now we can take his shit, right? Yeah, I totally failed the fucking thing. Oh, wait. I thought there was something better in these. Oh, there's... Okay. Maybe that's only if you take them at first. Maybe not, I don't know. But he busts you if you take his treasures.
Mario, help!
Hey Mario, I'll be taking care of Princess Toadstool now. Taking care of her, if you know what I mean. Hit her with my big ol' Koopa dick. Just blasting that ass wide open. Boing boing.
Super jump attack!
Holy shit. I'm pretty sure Mario's dead. He's dead. Game over. I think you can hurt me with your childish pranks. I do think this is actually a cute scene. After Mario got hit, he's kind of just standing there like, oh, no, don't mind. That's not what would have happened if it would have been really me. Attention, Toadstool, you're coming with me. Zip your lip.
Help! Help! Somebody please help me! Help! Oh my gosh. It's Mom! Mom, look, we have a guest! Yes, dear, I hear you. Hello.
Like trying to just like blow off the kid until he realizes that there actually is something worthwhile that the kid's talking about.
Hello there. Why, aren't you Mario? For real? Well, you have the hat and the funky stash. Are you really Mario?
Yes.
How do I know it's you? You might just be pulling my leg. Show me, prove it.
Oh, just check out this Chomo stash, man. Either Mario or a real Chomo couldn't grow a stash like this. Or, you know what I meant.
Alright. Hey Mario, wanna play with me? I'm playing Save the World.
Wow. Don't quit your job and write a script, man. You won't get nobody will get past the title. Like, here's my script. It's called Family That Has Things Happen. Or some shit.
Now guys, Mario might be a little tired, dear. Oh, come on, Mom. You never play with me. It's no fun playing alone.
Wow, the mom doesn't play with the... If you're a single mom and you're not playing with the kid, then you're kind of a shitty mom. Actually, you're kind of a shitty mom if you're like, where's the dad in all this? Why'd you pop him out if you're not interested in keeping him around? I always like that one. I saw a thing on Facebook where it says, whenever a girl says, my baby daddy ain't shit, it sounds a lot like, I let losers come inside me. Which is actually pretty funny because, like, holy shit, if I had a fucking nickel, if I had a nickel for every time I had a girl say that, like, oh, he's just a sperm donor. He ain't shit. He's a piece of shit. He's da-da-da-da. And what girls don't realize is that when you say that to a guy, the guy isn't going to sympathize with you. The guy is going to say, so if he is all those bad things you said, why did you open your legs and bang him? And why did you spend, 4, 5, 6 years with him, And, But yeah, it's just kind of like from a, guys are more like logical, like they're sitting here thinking, okay, so are you just stupid or do you have bad taste in men? Like what's going on? Like why do I keep hearing the story again and again? It's like, and then people tend to just like, instead of saying maybe I had some part in it, they'll just blame the other person, It's 100% the guy's fault, Instead of saying like, hey, maybe I was just trying to, like, just whatever it could be. Maybe I was too clingy. Maybe I just, maybe he realized that I just wanted him to keep spending time and money on me and it was never enough, kind of thing. That never comes in. It's always just, he just transformed spontaneously into an asshole one day. And I mean, I was just kind of trolling. And I would say, so if he's so bad, why'd you stay with him? Well, he was nice at first. That's what I always get. Well, he wasn't like that at the beginning. And then I'm just like, really? So he just woke up one day and just transformed into an asshole one day? Yep, pretty much. Like, oh, really? Okay, well, people typically don't just turn over a bad leaf one day. They don't just wake up and be like, it's not like it's a full moon and they just turn into an asshole and just stay that way forever, I mean, I'm not saying the guy's faultless. There are some people that they just don't communicate and then just shit builds to a head and then, then it comes out with bad talking the woman or like, they'll always say like, oh, he's been physically abusive. It's like, well, did you hit him first? So it's just, to me, it's kind of funny how when it comes to like guys hitting girls, like everybody wants equality until they don't, It's like, well, you got your, man. Actually, I like to watch YouTube videos where it'll just show a girl just like all up in the dude's face, pushing him, poking him in the chest, slapping the shit out of him, and then as soon as he like, I mean, sometimes he'll just like push her or like shove her to the ground or something just to get her out of his face, and then as soon as he does anything, then he's like the worst person in the world or whatever. It's like, well, you're just gonna ignore everything she fucking did? Mom, you'll never believe what I just saw. It was amazing, Mom. I just saw Gino walk into the forest. Neat, huh? Yes, dear. That's nice, dear. And isn't Gino the one who broke my lamp the other day?
Oh, Mom, that was just, well, now this was real. I swear, Mom, really, it's true. I saw him outside.
Alright, Gaz, let's hear it. What are you trying to get out of this time?
Mom, I didn't do anything. I really, truly saw Gino walking into the forest.
Oh, this boy is impossible!
Sorry if I hurt you, but what would Gino want in the forest?
By the way, yeah, I guess I did just talk over that entire scene. Oops. Alright, so let's stop by the item shop. Pretty sure we can buy shit even though everybody's paralyzed. Oh wait, these people aren't paralyzed, I don't think, right? Oh yeah, let's go ahead and grab this thing. But basically, I mean, I want equal rights too, so I mean, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, if it's in self-defense, if the person hit you first, I'm not saying you have to roundhouse kick them or whatever, but if they slap you and you have to do what it takes to get them out of your face, then I think you should be allowed to do it. It's self-defense. Like, it only seems to go one way though. Gonna need Able Juice. I know I just said I never use them, but I mean, come on, you gotta have at least one, alright? Boy, we got a lot of coins too. Oh yeah, let's stop at the shop too and pick up a new thing. New weapons and shit. We should be able to sell our old shit. Oh yeah, Malo didn't get a thing. Oops, I guess I was gonna do that anyway. But it's the same thing with, like paying for dates and stuff, nobody likes gender roles. As soon as you say a woman's place is in the kitchen, then you're like a demon, but then as soon as you say that, well, maybe a guy shouldn't have to pay for a first date, and then now it's like, what? That's the man's job. Oh, really? Well, I thought that's a gender role. You just said you were against that, but most of the time they're only against the ones that are in their, if it has to do with free food, then that one they're okay with, but when it's one against them, now they don't like it, There's actually a bunch of gender roles. Like the man has to, and then you would ask them, they're like, well, why should the man have to pay? Well, to show that he's interested. It's like, well, why can't why doesn't the woman pay to show that she's interested, Why does it always fall on the dude, I don't know. Because it does, it's just a double standard. But one thing I've learned about double standards is that you cannot point out double standards. Like it's been my experience so far that no girl can handle it. Like their brains just short circuit because it contradicts what they've been told their whole life. Anyway, we're fighting a Wiggler and a chained Kong. I wonder who put him in those chains. Actually, I saw an episode of Game Theorist where it actually said that. Holy shit, that did a lot of damage. It explains how there was super early Mario stuff where he was had him in a circus kind of thing, where Mario was the dude with the whip or whatever, and was treating Donkey Kong poorly. And then so when Donkey Kong was kidnapped the princess or whatever, it was just to kind of get back at him or whatever for all the mistreatment he endured. But anyway, I mean, that was my spiel. I mean, I don't want to talk about the whole episode, but yeah, I mean, if you agree or disagree, comment, and subscribe. But I mean, that's just been what I've noticed so far. You can't even bring it up that you should split the bill. They're like, well, you should be a gentleman. It's like, so being a gentleman means spend all your money. I'm sitting here going, I mean, don't get me wrong, if I spend some time with a girl and end up liking her, then yeah, I'll spend some money on you. But if it's a first date, it's you're only one step above a stranger. So I'm sitting here going why should I drop, 20 bucks, and if there's a chance that I won't even, if I get to the end of the date and it's I do not like this person at all, I'm not going to want a second date, then why should I spend the money on her anyway? But then, again, it runs into, well, it's the man's job. Well, that's a gender role, actually. So, I mean, it's just, to me, it's such a scathing double standard that I can't believe how it just gets overlooked. And then even when you point it out, it's in that episode of SpongeBob with the giant Krabby Patty. They're like, look at it, what do you see? And Plankton's like, I don't see anything.
How can you not see it?
It's kind of like that, just putting it right in front of their face and saying look at it, what is it? They're like, I don't see a double standard. They're like, how can you not see it? It's kind of, you know, or even the concept that like the guy has to like ask the girl out in the first place. You know, well, what about equal rights? What about gender equality? Why is it basically when it comes to stuff like that, you should never, in the name of actual equality, like actual equality, you should never say it's the guy's job to blank or it's the girl's job to blank. You know. So, I mean, I'll meet you halfway and say it's not the girl's job to always cook for the man. It's not the girl's job to always be in the kitchen or whatever, but it's not the guy's job to do all the things that it's considered the guy's job to do, which it actually is. But it shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. Okay, anyway, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it all episode, but that's kind of what it turned into. Oops. Alright. I just got, I don't know. I noticed that, like, some of the episode, I don't know, it's kind of, every Let's Play is a little bit different in the sense that, like, sometimes it's easier to talk about the gameplay, and sometimes it's easier to just, like ramble on about anything that comes to mind, so, I mean, you're gonna get some episodes of both, I suppose, and, you know, you're welcome to disagree, but what I would like to, you know, anybody who disagrees, I would rather hear, I disagree because da-da-da-da-da, here's a reason. Okay, that is either a good reason or not a good reason, and here's why, you know. But usually what it turns into, like, oh my gosh, how could you? How could you think like that? I'm like, that's not a good counterpoint, actually.
Well, it's obviously da-da-da-da.
Well, I'm like, anything other than a counterpoint is not a good argument. Just saying, I don't like what you said, so you can't say it is not a good argument, you know? But that's kind of what it turns into. That's, in my experience, that's what it's turned into whenever I try to point out stuff like that, but then again, it's one of those things where it's like, you're never gonna, it's like anything else, like, I eat, like, a healthy diet, and I watch my money, I've actually been slacking a little bit on the watching my money part, now that I made more money at Mercury. But just in general, like, you can't just explain everything you know to everyone and get them to, like, understand it. You know, the whole thing with, like, guys paying for dates and stuff, like, that one I'm having a little bit of a hard time with just, like, letting it go, because that's one that I, like, affects, like, a lot of guys, and a lot of girls, like, don't, like, realize it. But when it comes to, like, healthy diet, like, that one's kind of like, I mean, that one technically you eat every day too, but, like, it just doesn't seem as, I don't know what the word is. I was gonna say urgent, but, I mean, eating healthy is, like, starting as soon as you can is important too, so, I mean, I don't know what I was gonna say, but, like, that's just, like, the most recent one, where it's, like, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, that you can't just explain everything you know to people one at a time. You know, you'll spend your whole life doing it and still not get anywhere, you know? So, I mean, I've tried to explain to people why they should eat healthy, and explain to people why they should, you know, keep track of their spending and stuff, but in the end, you know, and I've tried to help people with teaching, you know, with, like, teaching them to, like, do yoga, you know, to, you know, a lot of people think it's just a workout, but, I mean, how it's more than that, how you can improve your entire life outside of the studio, but in the end, you cannot truly help anyone, and it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, because I do like helping people, especially if I care about them, but yeah, anyway, it's time to end the episode, and I know I kind of went on and on and on, but, I mean, I just imagine that, like, when I get more popularity, or when I get more viewership, I should say, I don't want to say the word popular, but when I get more viewership, I imagine this video is probably going to come back to haunt me when I'm sitting here at a con or something, and they're like, so, when you said this in your video, back when you had just a couple subscribers, what did you mean by that? And I'm going to be like, well, I'm either going to say I either still believe it, or something changed and now I don't believe it, you know, it's kind of... So when people get accused of, like, flip-flopping and stuff, it's like, well, I learned new information, and so now I don't believe that. It doesn't mean I flip-flop. The only people that flip-flop are the people in politics, because their donors changed. You know, what they want changed, so now what they have to say they want changed, you know. Okay, but anyway, we'll go ahead and end it here. I guess it would sort of be, if this video did come back to haunt me and I had to explain what I meant again, man, I don't give a shit. Unless something changes, I'll fucking stand my ground and say I still believe it. And if people can't, like, understand it, then that's kind of on them, you know? And again, I mean, unless someone can convince me otherwise, you know, I'm always open to being proven wrong. Like, if you can convince me then I will say, I never thought of it that way. That's interesting. I will either change or modify my belief, but you have to convince me. You can't just get offended and then I'll just change my mind because you're offended or whatever about anything, actually. Or just say, well, you're stupid for believing that. Okay, well, that didn't change my mind. That's not a good argument at all, sir. Okay, but anyway, we'll pick this up in the next one, and you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.